What's going on, everyone? The Trey Lance era with the San Francisco 49ers has officially began. Kyle Shanahan has named him the number one QB and the starter for the 49ers, leading that charge for this upcoming season. Now, he's a quarterback out of North Dakota State, 22 years old, 6'4". So he's got the size, the skill set, the intangibles to be a quality quarterback in this league. And he's young enough to where if he is great, could be great for several years to come. And they're hoping that Trey Lance is a guy that can lead this team to another Super Bowl and maybe win one this time. They were a game away in the previous year, and there's a lot of questions going around the San Francisco 49ers, especially with Trey Lance, because a big concern is he really ready? Right? He's had reports of arm fatigue, things like that. And then also, of course, you have Jimmy Garoppolo. Right? The San Francisco 49ers have given Jimmy Garoppolo permission to go and look and seek for a trade. And that's great and all, but you really need to bank on Trey Lance being the guy. Because if he's not the guy and he doesn't, and let's say he is just stumbling and falling, because this team is a team that looks ready to go, right? I mean, there's a lot of questions with Deebo Samuels, like, is he going to be traded? Is he going to stay with the team this year? Is he just kind of a system guy? Did Garoppolo make him look good? What is going to happen with him? But beyond that, if you end up trading Jimmy Garoppolo, who's your backup quarterback? You know, I mean, you got what, Brock Purdy? Like, is he a guy that's going to lead the charge if Trey Lance is not the guy to, be the dominant force that you hope? And look, Jimmy Garoppolo isn't some superstar quarterback, right? He's not an elite quarterback. He's a very good quarterback, very serviceable. He does have questionable moments and things like that. And I don't knock him for what happened to end the game, last time he played, because, he just closed his eyes and was hoping for a miracle. At that point, that's all you really can do. So I don't knock him for that. I know some people like to clown him for that, but, the game was over. You had one shot. You might as well just try to make something out of nothing. But when it comes to Trey Lance, how much of an upgrade is he going to be over Jimmy Garoppolo? This season he's going to have his trial and errors. He's going to have his bad moments. He's going to have his brilliant moments. And hopefully the brilliant moments are more consistent than the terrible moments, right? You want Trey Lance to be a guy that he had a lot of hype and a lot of excitement coming into the league. And many people thought he could be the starter day one. And they've kind of slowly brought him in, which is fine. That's even better, right? Because he by now should know the system. He's gotten to watch Jimmy Garoppolo over, the last few years kind of lead the charge, lead the way, and he knows what he needs to do. He knows what is expected from him. You have a guy in Kyle Shanahan who many think is one of the greatest, coaching offensive minds ever. I don't know about that, but I mean, he is up there. He is one of the best, especially young coaches in this league. And he's a guy that hopefully can get the most out of Trey Lance. But given him essentially being thrown with the Wolves, and a lot of questions with the 49ers in general, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to say the least, because this team last year had, some struggles, but for the most part, they were able to put it together to ride out the season. The year before that, if I'm not mistaken, they didn't even make the playoffs. So you're kind of in this position to where it's you're there, right? You're right there, and it's okay, you don't want to ride with Jimmy Garoppolo anymore. Okay, fine. You're going to trade him. You're going to get a future asset, probably a 4th round pick, something like that. But you need Trey Lance to be ready. You need to make sure he is ready. And there's a lot of concerns with his arm, of him just having arm fatigue. And that was a major issue, him not being able to throw the ball consistently without getting tired. Now, of course, weight training, repetitions, things like that are going to help him in that regard. But, you don't want a quarterback that's all of a sudden throwing, 5 interceptions a game. You don't want a Jameis Winston where, you're throwing 30 touchdowns a game, but you're also throwing 30 interceptions a game. And it's just, you want somebody out there that's going to be efficient. Otherwise, why are you giving up on Jimmy Garoppolo? Because like I said, if they get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo, unless they get a backup in the deal, right? I don't know, who, again, Purdy's going to be your guy. He's going to be the guy, or are you just going to ride Trey Lance and just say, hey, we'll live with them, we'll die with them If we don't make the playoffs, we don't make the playoffs. Is that really the best scenario that you want to be in? If I'm the 49ers, wouldn't want that. I don't know. I mean, you can't keep Jimmy Garoppolo unless you're going to start him. There's no point in having him just ride the bench while this young guy comes in. Jimmy Garoppolo is too good of a player, too good of a quarterback to just be sitting on the bench. So you do have to trade him. But the Niners need to make sure that like Trey Lance is their guy, because you're not talking about a team that's young, coming, trying to rebuild, trying to find that QB to kind of lead the charge. You can kind of let him get his trial and error, that kind of thing. You're not talking about Jacksonville Jaguars, where it's like, all right, you got a young stud at quarterback, but he's gonna have his hiccups, he's gonna have his issues, but we're not competing for titles anyway, so who cares? Let him out there, let him go and just do his thing. If he throws 10 interceptions, who cares? It's not a big deal, right? Like, that's not the situation here with the 49ers. And the fan base they're gonna expect this team to put it together and get a W and be right there where they were last year, and hopefully this time actually win it and be right back in a Super Bowl and then hopefully win that. But we'll see what develops. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this all unfolds, how this all takes place. And I'm rooting for him. I'm definitely rooting for the kid. I really would love to see Trey Lance just come out and shine. I'd love to see him be that guy and be able to step into that role and kind of take this 49ers team to another level. Obviously, again, whatever happens with Samuels, that's going to be interesting to see. But whether he's on the team or not, the 49ers still have a good enough core. They still have a good enough offense and defense to where he should be able to be in a position to win. It's just the arm fatigue is really concerning. And I know that they've addressed it, stuff like that, but still, it seems to be a reoccurring thing when it comes to Trey Lance. But anyway, those are my thoughts and opinions. I'd love to hear yours. Let me know down in the comment section below. What do you think about Trey Lance being the number one guy? He's the quarterback for the 49ers this year. Are you excited for it? Are you not? Are you somebody that's okay with like riding the hiccups and riding the roller coaster? Or and how do you feel about the Jimmy Garoppolo trade, right? Do you think like, hey, whatever trade you make with Jimmy Garoppolo, you got to get a backup quarterback in that deal? Purdy, he hasn't had a lot to go off of, but hopefully maybe he's a guy that can step in. I just think like you're putting a lot of make and break on Trey Lance. And, hopefully he's ready. Hopefully he's good to go. Because they wanted to make him the starter last year, and it didn't work out. Like, it went the other way, and they stuck it out with Jimmy Garoppolo again. Trey Lance, he got some moments, stuff like that, but we saw what the end result was. When they needed to get back in the groove, win some games and stuff, Jimmy Garoppolo was the guy to do that. But anyway, again, however you feel about it, let me know down in the comment section below. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.